I want people to know that in 2023, I did try and bring the situation to light. And a lot of people remember, I was having a lot of... It got so bad that David's legal team had got in contact with me to remove everything.
Despite all the craziness that's going on, all the turmoil, the natural disasters, the pain, and things like that this year, I just wanted to tell you guys.
The LAPD came out revealing new evidence of David and Celeste, showing some of the last moments caught on camera. The news wrote, David is not cooperating with investigators in the passing of Celeste, and detectives have identified a second suspect in the case. David still remains a suspect. This was huge to hear the police finally acknowledge that David is a suspect. However, TMZ followed it up with the report. Celeste was found frozen in David's car, which the medical examiner says will likely make it impossible to determine the cause of passing. The police still see Celeste's passing as a result of foul play, and an arrest can still be made if her cause remains undetermined. This resulted in many creators making videos on the update to say,
for quite some time, a lot of people were curious as to when she could have passed away. If she passed away at the beginning of 2025, why did she only just start smelling in September of 2025? Well, according to what we are hearing from sources close to LAPD, it seems as if Celeste Rivas Hernandez was actually frozen for a period of time. Freezing up would preserve that for an extended period of time, and it seems as if she was removed from being in a frozen state and put in David's Tesla. And because of that, the medical examiner is likely not going to be able to determine a CO.
However, this frozen theory from TMZ was quickly proven to be false as the LAPD themselves corrected the statement. But it's still believed the police consider David a suspect and that he hasn't been cooperating with them to help the investigation. But we're getting new information on the case and when David and Celeste were last together. The private investigator who's been looking into the case claims, on the night of December 30th through the morning of December 31st, 2024, David and Celeste were together in downtown Los Angeles, where several photos were taken in public. They also noticed David had weird photos in his camera roll, one with a group of them in the forest, which is supposedly for filming a music video. But there's also this weird shed picture that is very unsettling to look at. The police wonder if this shed has anything to do with Celeste's passing and where the crime happened. However, in an interview with Law and Crime, the private investigator answered to his best ability about where David is.
Do you have any indication about where David is right now?
I don't. I have no idea. And it's kind of bizarre because his group has stayed so silent, what's left of his group, I guess. And I'm not even sure the conversations that the owner did have with his management in breaking that lease. I'm not even 100% sure his management knows at this time where he's at. I think his attorney might be the only one, and his parents.
It's pretty concerning that even the investigator doesn't know David's current whereabouts. David's been sitting in hiding for 2 months now, and it might suggest he isn't as innocent as some fans hoped. Because on the day that Celeste was identified in the Tesla, he did something unbelievable. He transferred one of his houses to his mother. Sources believe after David hired his new legal firm and transferred assets out of his name, he's preparing for the police to close on him. A lawyer explained further in how the police won't allow this if David is found guilty of the crime.
You know, transferring these assets in the middle of an investigation, as opposed to 2 years ago or a year ago.
Right.
Could a court look at this and say, this was a deliberate attempt to, what you say, concealing assets, and they could breach it, they could pierce it, they could say, even though that you've transferred this into your mother's name, that was invalid. This is a way for, let's say, a plaintiff who sues him, or let's say in a criminal judgment to pay that fine. Can a court look at that and say, even though you transferred it, it's still open season on those properties?
Yeah, this is what's so puzzling about this. It is a very basic premise of law throughout the country that you can't transfer assets after the event happens that would otherwise trigger collecting on those assets. So we have rules in different states. Sometimes they're called fraudulent transfers, sometimes they're called fraudulent conveyances. There's a lot of different names for them, but the crux of it is you cannot transfer assets.
The police will identify David was trying to protect his assets from the crime he may have committed, but it won't work out for him. This isn't even David's biggest problem because the police accidentally leaked to TMZ that there's another suspect. This will instantly get anyone else that was close with David suspicious, and they'll try to cover their tracks. We saw a reporter tweet out and mention who this second suspect could be. This in no way implies any type of guilt, but based on Steve's recent findings and David's social media, it's possible his friend Neo was the last one driving the Tesla. Neo has wiped his social media clean of David and does not follow him on Instagram, as this post links to the private investigator talking about who the person that last drove it is. Steve, the investigator, is positive he's confirmed who drove it, but he can't say who.
You know who that person is, and do you believe that is the person that moved the Tesla?
So I definitely know who moved that Tesla on that late July before they went on tour. I can't say who the person, and I don't mean I can't say but I don't know who exactly was in the house, because it's just a report, but there's video, but you can't make a person out. But somebody was in the house, and being that there's only one key, it's like, okay, who had access at that time? So is it the same person that moved the Tesla? Was another last part of the plan about to go in motion as far as getting rid of her? I don't know.
The reason he can't say it is to not mess with the investigation, but you can look at Neo and David's Instagrams and realize something is up, because Neo started doing shady stuff to his social media. It was announced. Receipts show that David and Neo no longer follow each other on Instagram. What happened to Celeste, and who put her in the Tesla? Is it possible Celeste witnessed something significant about David and would ruin his public profile? Shortly after the discovery of Neo, rumors began which believed David might have had a relationship with him. Old photos of them on Instagram show them recreating the Titanic pose together, laying in bed, and much more. Despite David's silence, his accounts have made 2 appearances online since the news broke about Celeste. The first time he got online was with the announcement. If anyone's wondering where David is at right now, he's lurking and has been playing Fortnite. As people interested by the case were looking for any sort of sign on his online account, so some of them checked out his Fortnite account. Once they searched it up on the Fortnite tracker, they realized he was playing Fortnite within the same hour that they looked him up. But fans were very confused by this, because the fans that were hoping he had nothing to do with it said, there's no way that's David's first response to this happening. If he knows he's innocent, he should have gone about it in a different way. But David's second appearance online was when he accidentally posted a song to his BandLab account. With it announced, David just posted a song titled Rust to his BandLab account and quickly deleted it. No one knows if David thought this would be a good idea to try and act mysterious by posting a new song, but it obviously didn't work in his favor. Instantly, people commented asking if he really did the crime, and shortly after it was deleted. However, the private investigator was asked if he knows exact information on when Celeste passed.
You don't know more information about when she, right?
No,
Okay.
I don't have any information of how she, when exactly she. Investigations are always moving, and right now I tend to believe it happened a while ago, a long time ago, and I think January, February, things changed. I mean, you can see it in the photos and everything. And I also think when I first started looking at this case, I'm very much an Occam's razor type of person, where I think things are a lot easier than people try to make them sometimes, especially online, and these big things. And I thought this was going to be a tragic, which it very well still could be. And they made a bad decision because they didn't want to expose a potential relationship and put her in this Tesla. And then maybe he thought he could get somebody to get rid of that car. And they were just like, no, I'm not doing it. And just got left there. But I will say this, there are some things that, and I'm talking physical evidence that was at that house, that there could have been greater plans as far as getting rid of her.
Obviously, the investigator believes it happened earlier in the year, but he revealed that David had a second rental home that not many people knew about. He had one house where he did all of his collabs and was seen publicly, but there was a second house in Los Angeles he rented out. Theories suggest that Celeste could have been living in that second home in order to keep her more secretive. But what's also weird is that David recorded this video at the second house in February. People believe she had been passed for a few weeks before he recorded it. It's also important to mention that David stopped using the black Tesla and had leased a new red Tesla around the same time. But this video of David seems to be filled with bad energy. You just know something isn't right.
Hey guys, I know I haven't posted on this account in a little minute, but I just had some words to share with you for 2025. Despite all the craziness that's going on, all the turmoil, the natural disasters, the pain and things like that, this year I just wanted to tell you guys not to be discouraged and not to lose hope and not to turn your face from God in these times of evil. And then it seems like just at the start of the year, it's literally January and all this stuff is happening. It's like the most insane, it's February now, but it's the most insane start to a year that I've ever seen. But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So keep that sound mind 2025. Stay prayed up.
During the muted parts of the clip, he talks about how people are passing and he wants it to stop. Is it possible that David was slipping up in this video and the emotional toll of what happened finally got to him? Or was he just talking about the world in general? However, news broke of the police making a move on David, but not how you would think. When the situation started, a report read, on September 18th, David transferred his Texas homes into his mom's name. Just a day earlier, police did a search warrant at his Hollywood Hills rental, and on that same day, a police call falsely reported an incident and someone passing at his family house in Texas. When police arrived, they were met by David's parents, who said his younger brother and sister were upstairs. As someone who was very interested in the case, probably wanted to see if David was living at his parents' house, so he made a false police call to his family home. Despite what David might have done, everyone should keep his family out of it.
No, out of all times for this to happen, as he's discovered in his car, after she's been identified, for there to be a potential swatting incident where somebody calls 911 with a fake allegation, a fake crime for their property, out of all people, out of all times, it's weird.
Well, it's weird, but it doesn't necessarily surprise me because this case has taken on national significance in terms of people paying attention to it. And there are bad actors that understand how to bring somebody by way of swatting. So somebody called the 911 system down there. They found the address online and were basically made up a story for the cops to go there. And then they went in, and fortunately the police were very professional and they were able to immediately understand that it was a swatting incident and it wasn't a legitimate call.
But with everyone digging into David's entire past online, they began skimming through every interview he's ever done. They found something pretty concerning. David gets asked where he wants to be in 5 years, and he specifically answered for 4 years, where he said he wanted to live on a private island with no social media, which just so happens to be when Celeste would have turned 18.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Okay, so the plan is hopefully this music thing takes off crazy next year.
Why is he saying, why are you saying that like you're not like up there?
Well, I'm not there yet, but hopefully it's like even crazier next year. And then I go on crazy year after year for the next 3 years. And then on the 4th year, I retire. And on the 5th year, I'm off the grid, living somewhere like on an island with this crazy crib. No social media, no digital footprint. I'm just gone. I'm just gone. In 5 years, I'm gonna be gone.
Will you still remember me?
Yeah, bro. You'll have like the secret codes to the mansion.
Yeah?
You can pull up on every.
What's the secret code? Give us the first 2 numbers.
Absolutely
of the secret.
not.
If you thought that was bad, the second interview is even worse, because it links to David's love with anime. David wore a blue wig to an anime convention, and that wig was found to be worn by Celeste. But in the interview, he talks about his thoughts on anime and described how he bases his music videos off an anime story he wanted to create. He describes himself as having an alter ego who commits the worst of crimes.
Basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego, and the story of the manga went like I was a detective and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden, and he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as the detective, I'd be like solving that I'm committing myself. And it was like a cool little story. I didn't think anything would come of it. Like it was in the vault for.
One reply to the video said there's hundreds of crimes he could have used as his example when describing his alter ego, and he chose to say that. I can't be the only one seeing how obvious this all is, but there's more evidence the police found of David being with Celeste. As they covered the last time, there's public video of Celeste being spotted at a David concert. It turns out that David's younger brother would spend time with Celeste whenever David was busy with performing. However, a fan caught her on video heading backstage, and a report revealed if this video is accurate, it means Celeste was still alive on June 27, 2024, allegedly seen backstage at a David concert alongside his brother. Look closely, she's wearing those Hello Kitty sandals. The Hello Kitty sandals are important because that's what she's described as last wearing in her missing persons poster. And the sandals look to be the same ones that she's wearing at the concert. But many people wonder how David was never caught before, because he live streamed on Twitch with Celeste when he was a pretty big artist and no one noticed. It was reported a resurfaced clip of David from January 11th, 2024 shows him with Celeste Rivas on stream, where he tells the mods to delete all videos and clips after he ends the stream.
Yo, wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which one? What's good, David? Big fan, big spot me. Oh, thank you. Mitchell.
I gotta stop with him if you even. We need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
No one noticed was Celeste, but someone that used to work with David on music claimed he knew David was doing weird stuff before he met Celeste, but no one listened to him. Shortly after he tried saying something, David's legal team forced him to stop talking.
And I just want to clear up that the stuff from 2023 was not about the Celeste girl that was obviously recently in the news. It's nothing to do with her. I didn't know about her. I didn't know she was. I maybe heard her name once or twice. I had nothing to do with her. The stuff I have from 2023 was nothing to do with Celeste. These were other girls that had claimed David had messaged them or had, you know, relationships with them. And I want people to know that in 2023, I did try and bring the situation to light. And a lot of people remember, you know, I was having a lot of... It got so bad that David's legal team had got in contact with me to remove everything. I've attached an email here that I received from his team in 2023. And basically they removed my song with David from, you know, streaming services because apparently I was spreading misinformation. The thing is, after that, I got in touch with David and I was like, yo, are the claims true and all of this? And he was like, he literally said, I've got it here. He said, no, it's just some people trying to get clout. You know, there's no evidence and stuff. After that, everything was shut down. Everything, you know, no one else came out after that.
However, a rapper the police have wanted for years is YNW Melly.